Hey guys, the Middle Maniac back again, and in this video, this is going to be a top 10 video. This is going to be my top 10 favorite guitar solos of all time. This is a really hard list to make, considering that there's so many guitar solos out there and songs that I absolutely love. So it took me a long. I actually had this idea pretty much for like at least 3 months, but it took a lot of time to narrow it down to just 10. But before I get into the list, there's one rule to this list. Only one guitar solo per band on the list. So, anyway, let's begin. So, at number 10 is the guitar solo from the the title track of the Black Sabbath album Forbidden. Yeah, the title track is by far the best song on the album, and the guitar solo in the middle of the song is great. I mean, it's not an epic solo, it's not like very fancy, but it does its purpose, and it just is more of an emotion, I guess, filled kind of solo rather than a fancy show-off solo. But yeah, the guitar solo for the title track of Forbidden is amazing, and it's at number 10. Alright, at number 9, hold on, number 9 is the guitar solo in the song Arrival, from the album Abigail, by the band King Diamond. It was kind of hard to pick between a few of these guitar solos featured on this album, but I had to go with the guitar solo in the song Arrival, just because it stood out to me the most. It's very eerie and very epic and eerie at the same time. It really helps set the mood of what's going on within the story being told here. But yeah, just a really, really, really great guitar solo. It's at number 9. Oh, wrong shelf. Alright, at number 8. There it is. At number 8 is the guitar solo on the song, there it is, on the song Tormentor by Slayer, from the album Show No Mercy. Again, it was really hard to pick a guitar solo by another band, just like with King Diamond with that album. I mean, even more so with this band, because I have heard majority of their albums, like everything from their 80s part of their catalog I have heard. So it was really hard to decide just one guitar solo from one song. But I narrowed it down to, of course, my favorite Slayer song, which is Tormentor, and the guitar solo in that. It's very interesting because it's not a traditional solo, technically speaking. It's sort of not show-off-ish, but it is very fast, almost. You could almost say you could kind of edit it and use it as a riff instead. Edit the audio, kind of like tinker with it just a tiny bit. It's basically a solo that you could also substitute as a guitar riff, a guitar solo that you could absolutely substitute as a guitar riff if need be. It's sort of that kind of guitar solo, thrash guitar solo where it could be used either or, but it's a really, really good riff, and I absolutely love it. Guitar solo, there we go. But I absolutely love it, and it's at number 8. At number 7, hold on. Oh, okay, it's that one. At number 7 is the guitar solo in the song A Moment of Clarity on the album The Sound of Perseverance by the band Death. It was kind of hard to pick between the guitar solo on the song Spirit Crusher or the guitar solo on the song A Moment of Clarity. Those are probably my 2 favorites on this album. But, I mean, when I really sat down and thought about it, I actually like the two different guitar riffs more on Spirit Crusher than I do the actual solo. Whereas on A Moment of Clarity, I like the guitar solo better than the riffs. So I went with the Moment of Clarity, the one in the moment with the one with on the song The Moment of Clarity, just because it is definitely a more standout riff. Sorry, not riff. I keep getting this confused. I meant guitar solo. I'm so sorry. kind of had a sort of a brain fart there. Anyway, it's just filled with emotion and passion. You could really feel that through listening to it. Sort of very. It just oozes that emotion and passion that Chuck was putting into that solo. But yeah, great guitar solo within the song "A Moment of Clarity." Yeah, it's back up there. All right. At number 6. Number 6. Oh, there it is. Number 6 is the guitar solo in the song "Holy Diver" by the band Dio. Well, it's not the most. I want not the most like audible. Like not the most audible. It's not the most loud. There we go. It's not the most loud guitar solo. It is kind of like it's sort of a stripped back kind of solo. It's there. It's really good. It has the heart and soul that a guitar solo should with like especially with band like Dio or even like let's say Iron Maiden or Judas Priest in a way. Like those kind of bands really know how these kind of bands really know how to like put emotion within a guitar solo. And with the song "Holy Diver," they do it very well. Um, it's sort of again, it's not very fancy. It's not very technical. It's very stripped back, very basic, but it still has the heart and soul. Sorry, I'm really stumbling with my words today. It's very stripped back. Still has the heart and soul and emotion. Those are the kind of solos that I absolutely love. Um, but yeah, really great solo within the song "Holy Diver." All right. Um, Number 5. I want to put this back really quick. Okay. At number 5 is the guitar solo in the song "Animal Fuck Like a Beast" by the band Wasp. Another hard decision on this album. Like I was really like it was sort of like a hard decision between the solos on certain songs, like with the song "Animal Fuck Like a Beast," the Hellion, On Your Knees, not On Your Knees, Tormentor, Torture Never Stops, and Show No Mercy. Like there are quite a few of these songs that have amazing guitar solos. That it was so hard for me to pick just one out of all of these. But I mean, in the end, I had to go with the guitar solo from "Animal Fuck Like a Beast" because I mean it's definitely the most iconic of guitar solos in terms of the songs on this album. Um, it's again, just like with Holy Diver, it's very stripped back. It's not very technical. It's not very fancy, but it still has that heart and soul. Heart and soul that a guitar solo of this kind of music should. You know, heavy metal is like one of those um, one of those few genres that really has just pure emotion in their guitar solos. I mean, yeah, I mean it's not not like I don't know how to describe it, but I mean when I mean pure emotion, I mean you could really feel the just the passion of the person playing the solo through the solo itself. That's what I mean by heart and solo and emotion. Um, but yeah, awesome. Alright, at number 4. Okay. At number 4 is the guitar solo from the title track of the album See You in Hell by Grim Reaper. Again, it's not very technical. It's not very. It's another one of those very stripped back guitar solos, but it still has the passion behind it. And you could really feel it. It's just. It's also one of those that is short but sweet. It doesn't last long, but when it's there, you really are appreciative that you really appreciate that it's there, and it really sort of, you know, it really sort of gets you in the mood to not only finish the song, but you really want to listen to the rest of the album just from that solo alone. But yeah, at number 4 is the guitar solo from the song "See You in Hell" by Grim Reaper. All right, at number 3. Number 3 is the guitar solo from the song "The Hammer" on the album Death Album 3 by the band Deathclock. Again, it was very just like with a lot of these albums. I was combing through this album trying to figure out what solo I like the best because there's a lot of really really good guitar solos on this album. Basically, I was the songs that I was trying to figure out what a guitar solo I liked the best from. I basically was choosing from the songs "Starved," "Ghost Queen," and "Peach God," and "The Hammer." But I mean, I had to go with "The Hammer." It's another one of those songs that like is very stripped back. It's not songs, but the song itself is. But like the guitar solo also is very stripped back, not very technical, not very fancy, but you could still feel the passion behind it. And that's really interesting because the song itself too, like compared to the rest of the songs, rest of the Deathclock catalog of songs too, as a whole, this song is very stripped back, very not I wouldn't say basic, but it's definitely not show off ish. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm just saying it's not very it's not like the usual style of kind of song because again it's melodic death metal, so it's very it's very out there in terms of just I don't know how to describe it, but you guys get what I mean by that. I think you guys do. Anyway, but whereas the song and the solo itself of the song "The Hammer" is pretty much stripped back, very basic, but still has that passion behind it. And it's a short but sweet guitar solo too, just like the other one I just mentioned. It's short but sweet. But yeah, awesome. Oh, that's scratched. Anyway. There we go. Alright. At number 2. Number two is the guitar solo in the title track of the album Killers. The song itself, Killers, is amazing, and that riff too, but that solo, the solo in the song Killers, that 2-piece guitar solo with Dave Murray and Adrian Smith is, in my opinion, the best Iron Maiden guitar solo there is. Yeah, it's just so good. Like, I don't know. I kind of maybe have it tied with the guitar solo in Phantom of the Opera. But yeah, it's just a really, really good guitar solo. If you're familiar with Dave Murray's style of guitar playing and then Adrian Smith, then you can really tell when the solo hits, you could tell who's doing what section of the solo, which is kind of really cool. If you can't really tell, watch the live version and then go back and listen to the studio version. Then you could probably figure it out. But the guitar solo is really, really good. Very fast, very energetic. Not show-off-ish, but it's very, very. I want to say chaotic, but I don't know if that's the right way of saying it. It's just very fast, very energetic, very. It just feels like they were just having a blast playing the solo, and you could really tell But yeah, just a really great solo. The energy the energy and passion put into the solo. Not just the song, but the solo itself. It really projects on the listener, and then you're having a great time listening to it, just like they had a great time playing the solo. But yeah, the guitar solo of the song "Killers" is at number 2. All right. Oh yeah, almost forgot that was number 1. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Hold on, give me a second. There we go. Alright, number 1. My favorite guitar solo of all time is the guitar solo on the title track of the album Painkiller. Just like with Iron Maiden, and a couple other bands. No, I mean, just like with Iron Maiden, not only was it hard to pick a guitar solo on an album, but like with Iron Maiden, it was hard to pick a single guitar solo from their entire discography, because there's so many great guitar solos. Like, I mean, the solo in the song "The Sentinel," the solo in the song "Jugulator" and "Abductors," and 11 After Midnight, the Hellion/Electric Eye. Just so many great solos to choose from. It was really hard for me to pick just one. But in the end, I mean, I had to go with Painkiller. I had to go with the guitar solo in the song Painkiller, because, I mean, what else can I say other than Glenn Tipton? Come on, Glenn Tipton, like, the best guitarist in metal. Yeah, it's a shame anymore that it's a shame that he can't really can't really perform live anymore, considering that his Parkinson's syndrome has just gotten so bad he just can't go on continuous touring. But I mean, at least he still writes a lot of the guitar parts, and still, I think he even still does some guitar work on the albums. I mean, from what I know about Firepower, he did actually record some guitar bits here and there. And he also wrote a lot of the guitar parts as well. But I mean, overall, Glenn Tipton is just one of those guitarists where when you hear his guitar playing, you immediately know it's him. Without even seeing, without even seeing footage of him playing, you could immediately know it's him. And his guitar solos, anytime he does a guitar solo, you're immediately hooked from the very first note. And the guitar solo in Painkiller is one of those legendary guitar solos where no matter how many times you listen to it, no matter if you listen to it 100 times, 100 times, 1,000 times, you never get sick of it. It's just so good. And it's very layered, too. It's a very layered guitar solo, so many different twists and turns. It's just a really, really good guitar solo, and it's my favorite guitar solo of all time. Again, it was very hard to pick just one, my top favorite, but I mean, I had to go with Painkiller because, again, Glenn Tipton. But yeah, so that's about it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all next time.